And I'm going to get started with this edit of this beautiful baby girl. For some reason my actions, oh there we go. So I've just slid them in here, and the little blue line appeared, so it let me connect the actions to the side. So if your actions are free floating and you'd rather them here, then you can simply just drag it in and do it there. This is the action palette off button mode. It's currently not on button mode here. I'm scrolling down with my mouse. Today I'm editing on the PC and with a mouse. Oh gosh, my phone. I am sorry. I'm so like not techie. Okay, hi Sarah, hi Joanne. Hi Sarah, thanks, you can hear me, that's really good. Okay, I'll stop waffling now. So I'm going to switch over, I think, to button mode here, where I've already color coded all the actions for you. They're a lot easier to play this way because you can just simply click them and they will play out. So I would sometimes start with bringing up the lights or turning down the lights. I'm going to leave that for now because I think the exposure here is lovely, the white balance is lovely, so I don't need to do that. So I'm going to start with the Complete Baby Quick Fix multi-layer base. This may run a little bit slower than normal because on my other monitor I've got 1,000,001 windows open. I'm redesigning the LSP website, and my whole computer is suffering. Especially where I just fell down the back of it as well. I don't think that helped. It didn't help my wrist. Okay, so as I said before, I'm editing with a mouse today on the PC. I like to edit with the Wacom on the Mac, on the PC, with a mouse, without a mouse, just so, you know, on the touchpad, so I can keep really fresh with, you know, with all the different editing styles. So as you can see, the brush has already been selected, white has already been selected. I am on 100% opacity and 25% flow. These are kind of my magic numbers for the LSP actions to paint them on. And I'm just going to slide this out a little bit here so you can see the actions included in the Complete Baby Quick Fix that's just played out. So this is a really good base to start with any newborn, no matter what the shot is, no matter what the skin tone is, no matter what your white balance, your, you know, your exposure. I'd say always start the Complete Baby Quick Fix after you've tweaked the lights. And I'm going to start at the top with Brighten Up Baby. This is just my general workflow. I think I'm going to even go 20% here so you can see the difference of me building it up. And my general workflow is no different for, you know, babies of different skin tones. Okay, so you can see there I've just brightened up the face a little bit. I'm going to take a bit off using a black brush under here where the natural shadow would be, just to add a little bit more depth into baby's face. Yeah, brighten up more if needed. This is going to be too harsh for this baby. As you can see, you know, it is basically taking all of the all of the, you know, the colour and leaving a very unnatural brightness. So I would not use that. Not at the moment. Anyway, darken areas. You can use this to create shadow. I'm actually going to use this differently on this image because, as you can see, there is a wood drop behind and in front, but the angle of this photograph and the way the wood lines up makes it look very straight. You know, it starts from the top to the bottom. There's no kind of depth, which is not Melanie the photographer's fault. It is simply just one of those things with this kind of wood. So I'm going to use the darken areas just to start putting a very light touch of dark in on this background, just to start separating baby from the background a little bit more. And what I'm going to do after Baby Quick Fix, I'm going to turn down the lights and paint that on even more. Paint Away Shine. This is good if baby's got any hot spots. So I'm going to go back up to 25%. This is me, literally. I've not edited this photo yet. I don't have a patter or anything like that. So I'm just painting away a little bit of that shine. Okay, bring back the details. I'm just going to pop this on the lips and not the eyes for now. I'm going to do the eyes separately in a moment. Warm skin tone. I may just pop this on very lightly on baby. Just a little bit, just to warm her up a touch. This will add a kind of a warm peachy yellow colour in, as you can see. And again, I always recommend turning them on and off if you don't see the difference when you're painting. Paint away the yellow, we don't need that for this baby. Cheeks and lips we don't really need because she's already got beautiful... Oh, please excuse my coughing, I know it's really annoying. Morning page. Everyone was struck down with this cold. So I've just added some colour into those cheeks and lips to really start separating baby up. Reduce the red's not really needed in this image, maybe a little bit around these areas here. Aside from that, not really needed. And soft skin. So this will add a really gentle softness to the skin without taking away the details, because you don't want baby looking over edited or like a porcelain doll. Or maybe you do, but I personally really don't like that. So what you've got to try and do is edit the skin so it looks real, so it looks natural, as mama sees baby, not like a porcelain doll. And again, turn it on and off just so you can see what you're doing. And you can take the opacity up or down, depending on the, you know, the desired effect. Okay, and when that's done, I'm going to, well, first actually, I'm going to take this image, the original image, as a new layer, just so we can see where we were, and flatten down. Okay, so now I'm going to get started on more of these details, but first, as I said a minute ago, I'm going to darken this background down and show you how you can separate baby from the background a little bit more so they really stand out. And I'm going to play, oh no, not bring up the lights. I'm going to play turn down the lights. And I'm going to get a black brush, quite large, and paint the effect off baby. And basically paint it off anywhere where the light would naturally be hitting. You kind of want baby's face to be the main, you know, the main focus of any image that you're doing. So by bringing down the lights in the rest of your image, you can really start to focus on baby's face. Turn that down a touch and flatten. I'm going to try one more thing too. I'm going to play darken baby scene, which will add a black layer. It's automatically given me the brush on white, which is nice, and darken even more around this area here, just to kind of nest her in this shot. And again, to separate this background more from the floor drop. Now you can see here I've painted over over this purple bonnet. So I'm going to come down with a black brush and just start taking it off. The thing when you're masking is make sure you kind of stay within the lines. Morning, Becky. So stay within those lines. Otherwise, like this, you'll get a halo around it, and you don't want a halo. Halos are really obvious, especially when you've resized down for Facebook. And you look at it on a smaller thumbnail and you think, oh, I didn't even notice that when I was editing. So I'm switching between brushes very quickly with my finger on the X, just to make sure that the background is dark, but the baby isn't. Okay, so that is adding the darkened baby scene. So as you can see, there is a lot more separation now between baby and the background. So I'm going to flatten down. Now let's finish working with the skin. This baby has got perfect skin. Oh my God, look at this baby's skin. It's gorgeous. So I don't really have to do a lot at all here to her skin. She has some slightly darker purple around her lips, but I'm going to leave that because that's that's quite common. And you can find certain areas on baby's body when they've got darker skin to have this bluey purple tone. And that is just part of her. Unless it looks very obvious and out of place, then leave it. You don't have to remove every little thing. Okay, so I've gone up here onto Patch Tool, and I'm going to use the LSP Select and Fix action here, which is set to F2 as the shortcode. If you're on a PC, you can just press F2. If you're on a Mac, you need to press Function and F2. But either way, it's still super fast. You can use this because of the shortcode without your action palette even open. So with the Patch Tool, I'm going to draw around any bits that shouldn't be there and hit F2. And what that does, it plays Select and Fix. Sometimes Select and Fix can go wonky. So I'm going to try it one more time, and if not, I'm already patched, so I can patch it. Okay, so I'm already patched. Select and Fix did not know what to do. It added a kind of a line in there, so I'm simply going to patch. Because I'm already on patch, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so same for these bits. I'm literally drawing around them, and when you see the little screen blink, that's me hitting F2. So I can go super fast, correcting all these bits just by drawing with my right hand and hitting F2 with my left hand. So it's ridiculously fast, it's incredibly accurate. So I would use this even when you know, there are flakes and things before you use remove flakes action, because this is, if you get something like this coming up, could not fill because of a program error, that is nothing to do with LSP. It is simply to do because the action has stopped playing halfway through. So I'm going to go off button mode, find select and fix, and go back to it there. Okay, and try it again. Now it's working. Now this, I'm not sure if this is a birthmark or not. I'm going to assume it isn't. If it is a birthmark, I would leave it, but I'm going to assume it's not, and I'm going to use select and fix on that too. Ignore my program errors. Okay. I'm simply drawing and F2ing this little bit here by the eyelid. I will show you a neat trick for reducing wrinkles around the eyes without losing the detail completely. And I'll try not to lose my rag at the program errors. Okay, and that one there. So I have now removed the obvious blemishes from baby's face, but I do like to leave some and just check the rest of the body just to make sure there is nothing sticking out there. This hair here I'm going to remove using select and fix too. Fluff is cute. Stray hairs that you obviously can't see when you're shooting are not cute. So to add that real professional polish to your images, you really do have to zoom in and just take away anything that shouldn't be there. Using select and fix, program error because I clicked off it, is me trying to work too fast. Okay, so we see this one here probably doesn't need to be there. So I'm going to draw around this in stages and use select and fix just to get rid of it. And as well, like I said before, I'm on patch, so you know, so anything that select and fix makes it look a bit skewy, which it can do, you know, it's genius, but it's not a magician. Because you're on patch already, you can just patch it like that. Drag it to an area. Becky, yes, select and fix is in the newborn actions pack. So here are the newborn actions, signature newborn actions. Scroll down here to the manual section and you have select and fix. It also comes with instructions here, which shows you how to use it. But really, once you get using it, it's almost like one of those things that is just so automatic. Look, even if I make the actions disappear, I can still use select and fix because it's got a shortcode assigned to it. And in fact, I'm going to show you this at the same time. I'm going to show you my eye bag trick. So for the eye bag trick, I need select and fix, and I need to duplicate the layer. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back onto the patch tool and use select and fix to remove these eye bags here. And then when they're generally, don't worry about it looking neat, when they're generally removed, I'm going to highlight that and just drag it to another area of skin just to smooth it out a little bit. And the same with this eye bag here. And now I'm going to highlight it and drag it away. If it makes funky colours, you may have to highlight a little bit more around the edges, but don't worry too much. Don't worry about it looking neat. I'm also going to take this one off the top. So bear with me, I'm showing you how we can, this also works for like adults, you know, if you want to kind of remove wrinkles very subtly. I have actions for this in the Essential Studio set, but if you want to go by hand using select and fix, so okay, that looks weird. That's original, that looks weird. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start taking the opacity down on this layer now to let the original show back through. What am I on? Maybe about 40%. I'm going to duplicate and copy that just to show you. And now we still have the original little lines in there, but they are softened. So that was before, and now they're softened. Can you see? Okay, soften that down a little bit more and flatten. So let's zoom out, let's see where we are so far. So that was before, and this is where we are at the moment. Now I'd be quite happy to leave this image as it is. I may add a vignette. Not all images suit a vignette, but I think this one will because of the darkness around the edges. Anyway, so I'm going to add dramatic vignette, which has played out. I'm going to get a black brush and I'm going to paint it off the baby a little bit more because, you know, the name is in the title. It is rather dramatic, but that's just because it leaves you wiggle room. You can, you know, you can paint it on or off and adjust the opacity. I like it to be dramatic because with dramatic you can take it off. If it's kind of like a blah vignette, if it's an undramatic vignette, I mean, where do you go from there? So I'm going to select a black brush and I'm just going to start painting this vignette off where the natural light source would be coming in, as you can see here. I also think I might warm the image up generally because this bowl and baby are very warm. The purple and the wood are quite cold. So I'm going to add some warmth here. In doing that, I'm going to just play the warm up purple skin action. There are lots of little hacks you can use in LSP. So you can see here I'm using warm up purple skin, which is adding a nice warm feel to this image. I may also add it a little bit to the bonnet. So when you're editing, decide if it's going to be a warm image or a cooler image, and then decide where you're going to have your warmth and your cool areas. So, you know, looking at this, the bowl is very warm, the fabric is very warm, the purple is cool, the wood is cool. So by adding warm up purple skin, I've just kind of added the warmth to the image without using it as a total overlay. You know, there's areas I didn't want to warm up, so I've manually painted that off or on. So can you see? We've got a lot warmer going on here. So again, let's go back to the original. So that's where we started, and that's where we are now. So now I feel all there is left to do is just bring out those details a little more with the sharpen lashes and details action. And really small, and I'm just going to lightly bring this over now so that we really can focus on baby's lashes. The cupid's bow, I always sharpen that, maybe not the whole mouth, but the cupid's bow, and, you know, anywhere where you really want those little highlights to show. Just so all the attention is on this beautiful little face. I might even take some of the yellows down on this bowl. I've just selected go away yellows. The actual colour I probably need is go away reds. Yeah, so you can see that is definitely more in the reds. Even though to me it looks orangey yellow, it's actually in the reds. So I'm just going to take a little bit down. I think I'm going to darken again and add a little bit more dark shadow under here, just to really start bringing the attention into baby and not the prop. I might even take this down and darken baby's forearm a little bit because that is rather bright and taking up space in the image. Okay, so I'm going to flatten that one. So here we see the, let me just, so that's our original and that's after.